Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Well, it's Monday and what an awful weekend it has been. Well, the past few days have been, to be honest, it's certainly not been a nice weekend whatsoever, with these two main storms and the third one which has come on Sunday as well. So yeah, but we still can't complain because the winter that we've had has not been bad whatsoever. Yes, these storms have been horrendous, but we've not had the snow, we've not had multiple storms. We've been getting a few recently, but we've not had as bad a winter as we usually get. So I'm still not complaining about this weather, to be honest, because we've been pretty good and lucky, to be honest, up to now. And I'm not looking forward to going to my plot because obviously I don't know what state my shed's in after the storm Eunice. Hopefully it's still standing, but we'll have to wait and see on that stance. But yeah, we'll have to have a good week down there. I won't be back down until my plot on Wednesday when I'm back off work, and that will be for 4 days hopefully, and hopefully the weather will pick up by then, he hopes. Luckily it always seems to be raining while I'm working at the moment, so we've not had many bad days down there, and that's why we've managed to be able to crack on with my plot and get it all ship shape and ready. There's still an awful lot to get done. I've still got about 8 beds to clear, and then once I've cleared all my beds, it's a case of sorting out all my paths. My paths are my low priority because obviously I'm not growing in them, they're just for walking on. But once I've cleared all my beds, I usually rip up all my paths where I've got all black membrane down, paving slabs down, and I dig it all over again and relay all the paths from scratch. The reason why I do this is because yes, I've got black membrane down and I've got paths down, but the roots still grow underneath it and they can sneak into the beds. So it's good to get them dug over. I do that once a year at least, sometimes 2, depending how bad the weather is or how bad the roots are growing, or if I've got time really. If I'm up to date with my plot, I'll give them a second go over later on in the year, but I try to get them done at least once a year and get them all redug over and sorted for the year ahead really. It's a case of just doing it and making it look better really, and cleaning up all my paving slabs, sweeping them up, getting them a bit more level, because obviously when you're standing on them all the time they start to grow unlevel and they get mucky and weeds grow in between them as well. So yeah, it's a case of getting them all ready and tidy and cleaned up. So what are we going to be looking at doing this week down on the plot? Well, hopefully if the weather does keep hold, I will be going down and getting the rest of those beds dug over and getting them cleared, and I'll hopefully work a few hours in my shed because I want to spend a bit more time regularly getting my shed ready, because getting into March, that is when I'm going to start sowing all my seeds, towards the end of March, beginning of April. So I need to get it all ready and in good shape, because if it has all collapsed and everything like that, who knows, we will find out. We need to get looking at sowing all my tomatoes, all the ones that do need a long germination rate to get going. Obviously a lot of people start the tomatoes off in January and February, but I tend to wait till March because it is warmer up here in Sheffield towards then, and they do soon catch up with the main plants. Obviously you won't get the fruit for as long, but I'll still get a good crop from them, so I'm not complaining. So we need to look at getting all them ready for sowing, and also I'm going to be sowing my melons pretty soon, getting all them ready. and I'm looking at growing a lot of different varieties of melons this time. I hope you can still hear me. It's absolutely bouncing it down while I'm recording this, but that just goes to show it's absolutely chucking it down here this weekend. But yeah, I've got lots and lots to get done, and my main jobs this week, what I'm thinking of doing is having a look at all my flower seeds, as now is the time to be looking at what flower seeds you want to be starting to sow, because I'm going to be starting them off in March, because a lot of flower seeds do need a long time to get growing and to get germinated, really, because they take a while to develop their flowers. So the quicker you can get them going, the better results you'll get from your flower seeds. And I've purchased so many flower seeds this year, it's unbelievable. If you saw my picture what I shared on Instagram of how many flower seeds I've purchased this year, wow, it's certainly amazing. And if I can get a lot of them to grow, I will be impressed with myself. And a lot of them are actual perennials, which means that they'll keep flowering year after year, as annuals are ones that'll just grow for 1 year and then they'll die. So then you have to replace them. So the more plants that I can get going, what are perennial plants, which I don't have to keep replacing, the better, really, because it'll save me time in the long run, and hopefully we'll get some great results from them. So it's all time and effort getting it all started and getting those flower seeds growing, but once I've got them growing and developed in the right area, because I've got my flower beds which are specific for flowers and not for growing vegetables, then they can just stay there and be happy and keep growing back and blooming every year. And I'm going to be talking quite a bit this week about different topics, one of them being about growing cut flowers. That's one of my podcasts. And also I'm going to be talking a lot about growing melons this year, because I want a lot of people to try and grow some melons and see how they get on. A bit of an experiment. I've grown them myself once before and had great success. Been doing quite a lot of research into what varieties to grow in the UK, because some varieties you won't get good results from. Watermelons, you'll struggle to get good results from them. And yeah, I've been researching the best varieties to try and grow in the UK. So make sure you stay tuned for that episode, and you can try and grow them along with me. Sow your seeds around the same time when I let you know when I'm sowing my melon seeds. And yeah, if you've got a greenhouse or a polytunnel, let's give it a try and see if we can get some melons growing. It won't cost you much to get them going. Even if they fail, it's a good little experiment. It's good to try new things, as I keep saying. I like to try different stuff every year. Last year I tried a lot of different varieties of squashes, and from trying that I'll be growing some of those varieties again this year, because I had great results last year. Last year I grew loads of different varieties of sunflowers, and wow, did I get some beautiful sunflowers on my plot last year. And I'm going to do the same again. Growing new stuff leads you to growing it in future. If you get good results, why not keep trying to grow them and get the best from your allotment as possible? So yeah, it's going to be quite a busy week for me down at the allotment and at home, getting things prepared and getting things ready. So if you are new to this podcast, make sure you do click that subscribe button, because then you'll find out all about these episodes, what are coming up, and you'll be able to listen to them. We do record them on a regular basis, so you can listen whenever your heart's content, when you're on the allotment, walking the dog, or when you're having your morning coffee before you get ready for work. Or some people message me and say that they like to listen as they're going to sleep, because it's a nice soothing voice. If it makes you sleep, fantastic. Or sometimes people listen when they're washing the pots at night. So thank you for people who do message me and contact me who do listen to it. If you do listen to it, send me a message. I do like to see who's actually listening. I do get a good listen rate, so thank you for everybody that does listen. And yeah, have a great day everyone, and as always, remember, keep gardening, keep smiling, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode, Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.